All right, welcome back to our mini MBA series. Today we are unpacking an absolutely fundamental tool for any strategist, the SWOT analysis. Seriously, whether you're mapping out your career path or trying to build the next big thing, mastering this framework is completely non-negotiable for making smarter decisions. So, have you ever just stopped and wondered, how does a company like Apple, worth over $3 trillion, face down billion-dollar fines, new competitors popping up, and crazy market slumps, and just keep on growing? I mean, it almost looks like magic, right? Well, it's not. It's clarity. And that clarity comes from a tool that is surprisingly simple. And this is it, the SWOT analysis. Now, I know it sounds like just another business school acronym, but it's so much more than that. The best way to think about it is as a structured, brutally honest look in the mirror. It forces you to map out what you're really great at, where you're vulnerable, and then stack all of that up against the forces that are shaping the world around you. Okay, so the framework itself is beautifully simple. It breaks everything down into this 2 by 2 grid. You've got the positive stuff on top, negative on the bottom. But here is the absolute key, the thing you have to get right. It's the columns. Strengths and weaknesses are internal. These are the things you can actually control. Opportunities and threats, those are external. They're the market forces, the things you can't control but absolutely have to react to. Understanding that internal versus external split, that is the secret to using SWOT effectively. And look, don't let this simplicity fool you into thinking it's not powerful. This isn't some dusty old textbook theory. This exact framework is used in the boardrooms at Google and Amazon. It's literally what helped Airbnb pivot and survive a global pandemic. It's a powerhouse because it's so universally applicable. So to really see this thing in action at the highest possible level, let's dive into Apple's masterclass in using SWOT to make billion-dollar decisions. And as we go through this, pay close attention, because the logic here works whether you're running a tech giant or just your own career. Let's start with their strengths. And Apple's biggest one is a number that's almost impossible to wrap your head around. $162 billion in cash. That's not just some number on a spreadsheet, that is pure rocket fuel. It gives them the freedom to make massive R&D bets, buy up competitors, and basically weather any economic storm you can imagine. And that cash hoard really powers their other core strengths. You've got maybe the most loyal customer base on the entire planet. A staggering 92% of iPhone users stick with the iPhone. And their app store, it's a cash machine, pulling in $85 billion a year. It's a fortress built on incredible internal advantages. But, even giants have an Achilles heel. Their sales in the supercritical Chinese market are down 10%, mostly because a competitor, Huawei, is making a huge comeback. And their big, ambitious bet on augmented reality, the Vision Pro, well, so far it's been a pretty costly mess. These are real internal vulnerabilities they have to deal with. Okay, now let's look outside the company, starting with the opportunities. The biggest one on the table for everyone, of course, is the AI revolution. But notice Apple's strategy here. They're not just rushing to build a chatbot. They're weaving Apple Intelligence deep into the ecosystem they already own. Other massive opportunities? Growing their high-margin services like Apple TV Plus, and moving manufacturing to new places like India. But there are some serious storm clouds on the horizon, too. These are the threats. The European Union is cracking down hard on their App Store, which threatens a huge revenue stream. Meanwhile, competitors like Google are moving incredibly fast with their own AI. And yeah, the risk of a massive, maybe even trillion-dollar fine from regulators is very, very real. So here it is. This is where the analysis turns into action. This is the crucial step. Apple didn't just look at 4 separate lists. They looked for the connections. They matched their greatest strengths, that massive user base and powerful ecosystem, with the biggest market opportunities, services, and AI. That's where they chose to double down. And at the same time, they eased off the gas on the Vision Pro, recognizing it was a weakness that didn't have a clear, immediate opportunity to exploit. And the result of this super clear, SWOT-driven decision? Well, their services revenue has doubled in just 4 years, becoming a massive, incredibly profitable part of the business. It's basically stabilized the company's entire valuation, proving that their clear-eyed strategy is working beautifully. Now, that's obviously a massive example, but the real magic of SWOT is that it scales all the way down. So let's look at how you can use this exact same logic for your own career or for your startup. Let's take Emily, a recent marketing grad. She did a personal SWOT analysis. Her number one strength, she was a certified whiz with the Adobe Creative Suite. The market opportunity she spotted, the absolute explosion of new brands being built entirely on social media, especially TikTok. So she just drew a line, connecting her strength to that opportunity. Instead of just spamming her resume to old-school ad agencies, she targeted these high-growth, social-first brands. The result was a total game changer. She landed an offer 3 times higher than a typical graduate salary. Or think about Airbnb during the pandemic. The threat was, well, existential. Global travel just stopped. But they saw a new opportunity in the rise of remote work. So they used their core strength, a super flexible platform with homes literally everywhere, to pivot. They started pushing monthly stays for all the new digital nomads. They directly matched their strength to a brand new market need created by a threat. And you can see it right here. While hotels were collapsing, Airbnb actually grew. And for a perfect textbook example of a strength opportunity play, check out the Indian e-commerce giant Flipkart. Their strength was a massive, trusted user base of 200 million people. The opportunity was a $500 billion credit gap in India. They just connected the dots, launched Flipkart Pay Later, and boom, added $2 billion to their revenue. It's just a flawless execution. So as you can see, this framework can be incredibly powerful. But before you run off and start mapping out your own SWOT grid, it is so important to understand its main purpose and to hear one really critical warning. Okay, this is essential, so listen up. A SWOT analysis is a snapshot in time. It's for your quarterly or your yearly strategy meeting. You do not try to run a SWOT analysis when you're in the middle of a fire, like during a PR crisis or for making day-to-day operational calls. In those moments, speed and just plain execution are way more important than a static analysis. At the end of the day, I want you to think of SWOT this way. It is not an academic exercise to make 4 neat little lists. It is a tool for revealing the reality of your battlefield. It shows you where your ground is strong, where it's weak, and it points to exactly where you should focus your attack to get the biggest win. So I'll leave you with this question. Think about yourself or your business. What is your single biggest strength? Now, look out at the world around you. What trend, what shift, what market opportunity can you connect that strength to right now to create your next big win? That's the power of SWOT.